go to the store and they got the pancake mix and they got the pancake mix complete.
Right.
All you need to do is add water. This is
Yeah.
pancake mix complete.
What's up, everybody? It's more 4th anniversary content. This time we're gonna be going over the we'll be going over the woos, but we're gonna be going over the Blue Eyes structure deck, right? So we got Kamel here, of course, looking very dapper in that bathrobe, and we got Jason here too, one of our new player helpers. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good. How are you two?
I am chilling, man. You know, we're on that new content, new anniversary grind.
We're binging right now.
Right, so let's get right into it. Y'all know what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Blue Eyes Evolution.
Yes.
New EX structure deck. Now, this is a very unique structure deck. This is the second we've gotten for Blue Eyes, and it's got some new additions. So let's talk about the three new, the four new cards in this deck, starting with the cover card, Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon.
All right, that's the one at the bottom here, right? The purple card.
Yeah, so we actually already have access to this card via a skill, but now we have it obtainable. You can add it to your extra deck without using the skill.
Nice.
So this requires 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons. It is a level 4.
It's a level 10. It's a level 10. It's a level 10 monster.
Don't make him count. Don't make him count. He can't do that.
Must be either fusion summon or special summon by sending the above monsters you control to the graveyard, in which case you do not use polymerization, so you can contact fuse for this. And cannot be special summoned by other ways. Cannot be destroyed by battle. This card can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. At the end of the damage step, when this card attacks an opponent's monster, but the opponent's monster was not destroyed by the battle, you can banish that opponent's monster. Now, thinking about this, it said it cannot be destroyed by battle, and its main card effect is going to be banishing things that it does not destroy by battle. So anything over 3K, it will be banishing, and it cannot be destroyed by battle. But it is susceptible to any and all card effects.
Yeah, it's a bit of a pain to deal with, isn't it?
Yeah,
when you're playing against it, yeah.
Yeah, if you don't have removal set up specifically for this card and you just have monsters lining up your defenses, this can barrel through anything very quickly. 2 attacks. That means it gets through most forms of protection, like the Noble Arms of Destiny. Jason, any thoughts on Twin Burst Dragon?
So my thoughts on it's a very strong card, actually. My thoughts on it. So it can clear opposing threats, as you said, Kamel, that 2 attacks in 1 battle phase is already very strong. But however, recall its effect of banishing opponent's monsters. So it can clear through threats that normally can't be destroyed by battle or whatever protection it has. It clears the way. It makes it much easier. Again, since you don't have to use poly to make it, it's rather an accessible tool in your extra deck to clear threats and also make it easier for you to OTK your opponent.
Yeah, and as well, some of the changes to the new way that we've seen people play Blue Eyes makes having 2 Blue Eyes on the field a lot more common, right? With the ancient rules build, just being able to bring out any Blue Eyes from your hand, us adding it back with us playing cards like Whitestone of Legend and things like that. So now we do have access to Blue Eyes on the field a lot more often. So I would definitely be interested to see how often this card gets used, because obviously it's 1 extra deck slot. So I don't think that this is really going to be something you don't include. You don't lose anything by including it. So we'll have to see how powerful it is and where its effects get utilized the most in tournament play. But the next card I want to talk about is the other UR. We've got the King of D. That is all the way on the left.
There we go. Okay. That is the Jack Black card right there. I thought Melody of Awakening Dragon was. Oh my god. I could see him right there rocking out, man. That is the Jack Black card.
So we have the King of D. This is a dark level 4 spellcaster effect monster. This card's name becomes Lord of D while on the field. When this card is normal summoned, you can discard 1 Spell or Trap and add 1 the Flute of Summoning Dragon, the Melody of Awakening Dragon, or Dragon Revival Rhapsody from your deck to your hand. So this is your searcher for your utility Blue Eyes spells. Right now, we play Melody of Awakening Dragon, which allows you to discard and add 2 level 8 dragons with 3,000 whatever. It's lets you add Blue Eyes or Levianeer to your hand, and then it also allows you to add the new card, which you could talk about right away since they work in tandem with each other. Dragon Revival Rhapsody. This is the SR spell.
So again, if you control a spellcaster monster, you can target up to 2 dragons in your graveyard. At least one of them has to be a normal monster, then special summon them. However, your opponent takes no damage, and it is a hard once per turn effect.
That means click the card, Circus.
What's that?
That means click the card.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to look up Lord of D right now, or the King of D. Which one are we on?
Dragon Revival Rhapsody.
That's a spell card.
Okay.
Yes.
There we go.
Kamal, what are your thoughts on the King of D and the Rhapsody?
Right. So these cards together, I do not think that these will be played in most Blue Eyes decks together because Dragon Revival Rhapsody has a pretty steep cost, not allowing you to battle that turn, correct? Yes,
No,
no damage. No damage.
No damage
Correct.
is no damage is the big one. So
No
I
damage
will.
Yeah.
No damage is the big one. I'll just give some TCG insights since I've been playing for so long, even after you, Kamel. So these two cards, when they were released, I recall it was in a Legendary Collection Kaiba. So this was post support of Alternative White Dragon. These 2 cards were never played in Blue Eyes at all. They were just not the kind of support cards that Blue Eyes was looking for.
So, and I want to say in Duel Links, it may be the same. We may be in the same position because I don't think that you really want to set up your Blue Eyes field with 2 other Blue Eyes monsters and a spellcaster to not really mess stuff up that turn. I feel like in Blue Eyes, you want to press every single advantage you get. Every single time that you discard a card, you're plussing. Every time you summon a monster, activating an effect, you're plussing. You activate this, you're plussing, but you can't capitalize fully off of the advantage you've created. And I don't like that.
So I'll mention that I have some other friends who are pre-testing for Duel Links, and I gave them my TCG insight, and they agree with me that they believe that the King of D and Dragon Revival Rhapsody should not be used in competitive Blue Eyes decks.
Yep, I just don't think that I don't think they achieve enough. Why play King of D when you're going to have 3 Sage? Are you going to ruin the consistency of your deck for King of D? I don't think that you stop playing Sage. He's the best Blue Eyes spellcaster. So yeah. So that's all we got.
So one thing I want to note, I guess, for people, they may think on paper, King of D, play 3 of it plus the Melody of Awakening Dragon. You have 4 Melody of Awakening Dragon. My issue is with that, you have to discard a spell or trap, right? You can't discard them. You can't discard a monster. So
yes, that's huge.
In decks, say like Thunder Dragon, you don't really run spells or traps too much. So again, that's not going to be as helpful, or even in Blue Eyes, especially either.
Yeah, and just that contradicts it entirely. You want to discard your stones to activate this effect. You can't discard your stones. You have to discard the other spells and traps that you need that you're going to use to discard your stone, which is absolutely ridiculous to me. And that strategy in Duel Links isn't going anywhere. Discarding your stones to plus off of stuff, and this is contradictory to that strategy, and it's not as good. So I don't think it's going to see play.
Oh.
We've got one more new card.
We do. Awesome. What is it?
The SR Trap Shadow Spell.
That's a classic. That's a classic Kaiba card.
Classic Kaiba card. I activate the trap card, Shadow Spell.
Bang.
Activate this card by targeting 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. It loses 700 attack. Also, it cannot attack or change its battle position. When it leaves the field, destroy this card. So it's Fiendish Chain.
I was going to say a poor man's Fiendish Chain or something.
Yeah. And if you are getting this deck and you honestly do lack a Fiendish Chain, hey man, you got this card. It's actually not that bad if you don't have a lot of staple back row that disrupts your opponent in that way.
Isn't this the one where PDS said Mom, can we have Phoenix Chain? We have
We have
Phoenix Chain at
Phoenix Chain
home.
at home.
And then
Yeah.
it's this.
I would say I just wanted to point, yes, that would be an appropriate meme for it, but also as for probably Kamel and myself, who's played TCG long before, this Shadow Spell definitely predates Phoenix Chain and
Right.
would
Oh yeah,
be
it's old card, old card.
it's very, very old card. So
Mhm.
again, it would be good for the very, very beginners and the low levels of play, but at higher stages of play, you want the Phoenix Chain
For sure.
or better cards than that.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to bag on the card by saying it's bad, but we're just trying to be
Oh no, yeah, definitely. No,
objective.
it is good that you mention that because people will try to put it in, and it's good we get the clarification. This is only something you include in your deck if you do not have anything else that limits your opponent in that way. So that does it for new cards. Let's talk about returning cards to the Blue Eyes deck. Now, the first thing that is absolutely massive, the White Stone of the Ancients, is in this structure deck. And this is an absolute must if you want to play Blue Eyes, and it is why you must buy 3 of this structure deck if you intend to play Blue Eyes. This is the card that the entire deck revolves around. All of your spells and traps are going to want to discard this card. Your monster effects are going to want to activate to send this card to the graveyard so you can keep your Blue Eyes monsters coming out each and every turn. And one of the cards that this card works extremely well in, that I am very glad that they reprinted it in this box, is Ultimate Providence. Ultimate Providence is a rare trap, and it's a counter trap. It's one of the most accessible counter traps in the game, and it's one of the best. When a spell trap or a monster effect is activated, discard the same type of card and then negate it. Blue Eyes are often weak against monster effects, or they don't have outs to certain very powerful ones. So discarding to negate a monster effect, discarding your stone is exactly what you want to do. Ultimate Providence is an omni negate, so of course it is just useful whenever, but it is most useful when negating monster effects. And now the next huge card that was also reprinted in this deck is the UR card, Cards of Consonance. And this card is pretty massive, famous for being locked behind a very bad box, Blackstorm Rising. Discard one dragon type monster with
That's a tuner to be exact, actually.
a tuner, dragon type tuner monster with 1000 or lower attack, draw 2 cards. So again, you use this, discard your White Stone of Ancients or your White Stone of Legend, and then you draw 2 cards, and in the end phase, you special summon a Blue Eyes monster. That's Blue Eyes in a nutshell.
Nice.
There you go.
There you go. So again, to follow up from Kamel, the reprints of White Stone of Ancients, Cards of Consonance are huge. Also,
Yes.
Ultimate Providence being announced that is in the deck, massive win.
Yes, we did
Also-
not know that before, and that's huge that it's in here.
One other card I should note that is in the deck that's also huge in my opinion, the Azure Eyes Silver Dragon.
Yes, this is another old card that you would have had to go back and get from Stardust Overdrive, but it is here in the structure deck. This is the bread and butter Blue Eyes Synchro Monster that you're going to want to go into. At first, if you do not have Spirit Dragon, this is what you will be going into. But if you want to play Blue Eyes at the highest level, I do implore you, and you will need to obtain Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon from the Judgment Force main box. But Azure Eyes Silver Dragon is a level 9 dragon synchro monster that allows you to special summon normal dragons from your grave, or normal monsters from your grave during the following standby phases. And when it is summoned, it protects all dragon type monsters currently on the field from being targeted and destroyed by card effects. Correct?
Yes.
All right, there you go. Got it right. And one last thing in the deck, out of the tuners that are here, I believe we have Protector, Master, and Priestess of Blue.
Yes. Yes.
That is, I believe if you are looking at an optimal Blue Eyes list, the only one of these that you are ever going to want to put in a huge a tournament ready Blue Eyes list is Master with Eyes of Blue. And I think Master with Eyes of Blue synergizes very well if you run the White Stone of Ancients as well. Jason, you probably know a little bit more about this card than I do.
So yes, I'll just explain it very briefly. So when you normal summon the Master of Eyes of Blue, you get to target any level 1 light tuner in your graveyard and add it to your hand. That's its first effect. The second effect of this card is you can shuffle this card from your deck or your graveyard into the deck, then target an effect monster you control, send it to the graveyard, and then you get to revive a Blue Eyes monster from your graveyard other than the card that you targeted. So you can only use each effect once per turn.
Now this card, okay, go ahead.
So I just want to note that most of the Blue Eyes builds would only play one master, but the one master as a tech, it would just be for the later mid-game to end-game plays of recycle your tuners or revive a Blue Eyes from your graveyard that's been sitting in the graveyard for a little bit too long. And then you get to keep going.
Yeah, but now I think this card may have a new use, because using this card, it is a lot easier for you to cycle your stones and more consistently get Blue Eyes monsters out on the field. Sage with Eyes of Blue is the only other monster that we know that can do this effect very easily. Of course, Protector and Priestess can do it as well, but it just doesn't work as well and synergize as well with the deck. With Master, you get a card back that you can later discard for another discard trap or cards of consonance. So I think that this will make summoning the Twin Burst Dragon very easy, if that is what it comes out that people want to do, if that card ends up being good to summon.
Camille, I should note from you earlier, if I look again at Twin Burst's text, I don't recall seeing it must be only fusion summoned the way that it says on here. I believe, if I recall correctly, you can revive it with Master with Eyes of Blue, if I recall correctly.
It does say cannot be summoned by other ways.
Does it not? I don't believe it says that.
And cannot be special summoned by
other ways.
Yep.
Does it not?
Sag.
No, let me just double check the TCG.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, not a big deal, but yeah. So I think overall this is a pretty good value if you have the money. I know a lot of people are like, I'm free to play. Is this going to be a one-of kind of structure deck?
If you are free to play, there's two things. If you do not have any previous Blue Eyes cards, if you do not have Whitestone of Ancients or anything else in this box, and you do not have the Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, you must buy 3 of the structure deck. There's no getting around it. You cannot buy 1, you cannot buy 2, you must buy 3. You have to have 3 Whitestone of the Ancients, and you're likely going to have 3 cards of consonance to keep up with your opponent. And if you don't have 3 Ultimate Providence, well, you're going to need 3 of those. But if you are a veteran player and you played Blue Eyes in the last meta and you have the 3 stones from that, and you have cards of consonance from investing already, I do believe that this is probably one of the only one purchase structure deck, EX structure decks in the game if you are a veteran player.
I completely agree with Kamel's comments. Again, as a new player, you definitely buy 3 or you don't buy it at all. If you do have it already, as a veteran player, you only need it for the Twin Burst, nothing more.
Yes, because we do not think that King of D or Dragon Revival Rhapsody will be a part of top tier lists for Blue Eyes.
All right.
Yes.
Well, I would say get in there then. Get in there. It's the 4th anniversary. Let's level up, man.
It is honestly the 4th anniversary. So again, guys, don't use your gems on this, because if you're not going to spend money to get all 3 of them, you don't want to waste gems getting half of a deck. So that is my advice to you.
You want a complete deck, not a half deck, as I keep preaching on a lot of these new player help videos with Circus. Please don't half bake a Blue Eyes deck. Get it complete.
Yeah,
but if you can spend and get the 3, I mean, you still got to get some other cards. But what you're getting in this box is so good, right? With the Whitestone and the Spirit of White, and then you get the fusion, the Twin Burst Dragon. I mean, cards of constants. I mean, there's so much good stuff here. Go donate some plasma. Go mow someone's lawn or shovel snow, depending on what part of the world you're in right now.
This is probably some of the highest value we've seen out of an EX structure deck. If we're talking out of all of the shop, there's 2 huge main box URs and a main box SR in this structure deck. That is crazy, and they're all reprints, which is massive.
Don't forget the Dragon Spirit of White. That's also reprinted in the deck as well, and that was from the previous Blue Eyes EX structure deck.
So you're all good, man. You got it all here. All
I
right.
would like.
Well, I was gonna say that seems like we covered it all, huh? Or do you guys have anything else that you want to do before we get out of here?
I'd say, hey Circus, remember your cake mix analogy?
Cake mix. Which one? You got to break some eggs? Which part?
No, 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 no. The fact that the Blue Eyes EX structure deck has, I think, 70-80% of the ingredients you want.
Oh, you got to
and then-
add some milk. Yeah, man, you got to
All
add some
you need
milk
is some
to it.
milk. That's true. That is a very good analogy. You know what it's like? I'll get you one better. You know, go to the store and they got the pancake mix and they got the pancake mix complete.
Right.
All you need to do is add water. This is
Yeah.
pancake mix complete, man. All you got to do is go in Judgment Force,
Add the
get
water.
Blue Eye Spirit Dragon, get Sage with Dazzle Blue.
Shake it up. Shake it up.
Yeah, you got yourself a tier deck. I mean, a power level 10 deck.
Power level 10. Ooh.
All right.
We're to Power Con 5 now.
So I think that is going to be it from us on Blue Eyes Evolution. We're going to be hitting you back later in the week for sure with some reviewing some tournament lists, breaking them down, seeing what worked and what didn't over the course of the week. Blue Eyes did get, I think, the biggest boost that people were looking at. A lot of people are excited about it, so we're going to be telling you just how it went over the first week in tournaments. So for that, keep your eyes peeled at DLE.
Yep. So we're going to get out of here. I'm Circus. That's Kamal. That's Jason.
Peace out.
Likewise, take care, YouTube.
All right. We'll see you next time.